In this video, we'll be looking back at early numeration systems. And so I think you'll find this hopefully a little interesting and hopefully a little bit enjoyable. To me, they're like doing just simple puzzles. None of these are hard. Certainly what we've done when we were working at different bases was more challenging than what we're gonna do here. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started and see what you think. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Egyptian numeration system. It says the Egyptians used the oldest numeration system called hieroglyphic notation. So my personal favorite here is the astonished person. But I also like the tadpole, the pointing finger, and the lotus blossom. Now I had a student, or have had a couple students that knew what a lotus blossom is. I'm still not sure that I do, but let's go ahead and get started. For me, it looks kind of like a Pac-Man woman. All right, so let's go ahead and do an example here. It says, write the following numeral as a Hindu-Arabic numeral. So first of all, we have our astonished person. There's one of those guys. So one astonished person, which stands for a million. And then notice we've got two of the pointing fingers. And so each of those is 10,000, so we'll add 20,000. And then next we have three of these guys. I forget what we call those. And those are each 10, so that'll be plus 30. And of course we have four of the ones. And so our number is going to be 1,020,034. All right, let's move on to the next problem. So go ahead and see if you can do this one, and then I would encourage you to watch the video. All right, so we have 1,000, and that's our lotus blossom. And then we have 700, which that's these guys. I think they called them spirals, so we're going to have 7 of those guys. And then, let's see, 5 tens or 50. So we have 5 of these guys, and then 2 of the ones. And so notice it takes a little more work to write out that number in the Egyptian numeral system. Imagine writing really big numbers. In fact, I'm sure they really didn't need to go beyond using a million. All right, let's move on to the Roman numeration system. So I think most people are pretty familiar with at least some of the numerals here. Of course, this represents a 1, this is a 5, a 10, a 50. Now the L is probably not as well known. C stands for 100. I always think of century, which stands for 100 years. D is 500, and M is 1,000. It says the Roman numerals were used until the 18th century and are still commonly used today for outlining on clocks and in numbering some pages in books. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about these. It says if the symbols decrease in value from left to right, then add their values to obtain the value of the Roman numeral as a whole. So normally the numbers, well, let's see. When we get to the examples, I'll explain that in a little more detail. It says if the symbols increase in value from left to right, then subtract the value of the symbols on the left from the symbol on the right to obtain the value of the Roman numeral as a whole. So notice the 1 can be subtracted from the 5 or the 10. So basically that means the 1 is to the left of either of those symbols. That's what they're trying to say up above. An X can be, or 10 can be subtracted from either 50, which is L, or C, which is 100. And again, you would have the X on the left in that situation. And then finally, C, which represents 100, can be subtracted from D, the 500, or M, the 1,000. So let's go ahead and see how this works. We'll do a couple of examples. So this one's very straightforward, and let's just go ahead and look at it. You have C, which stands for 100, and then the next symbol is L, which stands for 50. So notice they're decreasing from left to right here. And so in this case, we're going to write the C for 100, and then we have the L, which is worth 50, and the X which is worth 10. And so notice those are decreasing in value, and so the L is 50 and the X is 10. And then we have the 5, and so we are still getting smaller, and then we have 2 1s. Oops, why did I write 5 there? Let's fix that. And so, oh, we do have a 5. Whoops, let me fix that now. Boy, I'm messing it all up here. So we had 10 plus 5 plus 2, which, let's see, we end up getting 167 there. I made a mess out of that one. Let's move on to the next one here. So I'd encourage you to try this one. This one's a little harder because you'll see that some of the letters they're not decreasing in value from left to right. All right, so let's go ahead and see how you did. M, of course, is 1,000, and C is 100, so those are in the correct order. So we're going to write M for 1,000. But notice the next two letters. Let's see, you have C, which is 100, and then M, which is 1,000. So they're not in the right order. They're in reverse order from what's normal, and so we're going to subtract 100 from 1,000, and so CM is going to represent 900. And it happens again in the next two letters. Notice you have an X, which stands for 10, and then C that stands for 100. Those are in the reverse order of what's normal. So we're going to take 10 from 100, so that would be 90. And then a 5 and a 1, that's going to be 6. And so our answer here is 1,996. All right, let's move on to the next problem. So now we're going to talk about the traditional Chinese numeration system. And you can see we have the symbols and their values below. And the Chinese way of writing is vertical instead of horizontal the way we write. So let me show you how we do this, or how they do it, or did it. I don't know if they still use these. I know they use them some. I just don't know if it's their primary numbers. I don't think so. So notice we have 3,000s going from left to right, and then 200s. Actually, I forgot what order I went in here. So 3,000, notice the symbol for 3, that's this one here. And the 1,000 symbol is this one here. And so that's how you would write 3,000. Now the part that I'm writing to the left here, you don't normally write, but I'm writing it to make things a little bit easier here. Then we have 200s. So the symbol for 2 looks like that. And the symbol for 100, that's this guy here. So that's how you write the 200. And then 6 tens, so we're going to write the symbol for 6 and the symbol for 10. So 6 tens. And then finally 4 looks like that. And so that is the way that you write the number 3,264. All right, let's move on. So the last one we're going to do, it's called the Ionic Greek numeration system. And you can see they have a lot of symbols. I can't even imagine doing math in the Greek system. So let's go ahead and see how this one works. It's actually very simple. So this here, let's see, that first symbol there represents 700. That's psi. So that looks like that. And then the next symbol is lambda, which is 30. And then finally, the last one is delta, which represents 4. So this is the number 734. All right. So what I've done here is I've gone through the different systems, and at this point, if you feel like you got it, you could jump right into the homework. Otherwise, I'm going to make a second video for you to practice. If you want to watch that one to get some practice, then that's why I'm making it.